All right, doing a new 30-minute game. I'm going to record 2 or 3 today since I have some time. Got 1e4, hoping as always for a Caro can. We get the Scandinavian defense, so we'll take this pawn. They'll take back with their queen. They don't take back with their queen. I think there's some sort of trap here. I want to be very cautious. I don't want to overextend. We don't need to hang on to this pawn. That was a gambit pawn. We don't need to contort our position to try to hang on to this pawn. I think that's fine. So I'm going to do what I always do in confusing or tense situations. Let's get castled as quickly as possible. So I like knight out to f3 here, and then perhaps bishop out to c4. They come out pinning our knight to our queen. It's a good move. We could play bishop to e2 here. I don't know if that accomplishes anything for us. I still like bishop out to c4. Feels good, and then we could play d3 to support it in a moment if we need to. Then we can get castled as soon as possible. This is a game. We have 29 minutes on the clock. We have plenty of time to think about what we want to accomplish here. So I want to get castled first. Yes, I believe so. And then we can take their knight. Or we could come out here with check if we wanted to. We got some options. Let's continue developing thoughtfully. d3 supports our light squared bishop and opens up our dark squared bishop. They play h6, preventing us from coming all the way out to g5, which is really what I wanted to do, but that's okay. Maybe we play knight out to c3 to hit their knight here. And then if they want to take it, I don't like b takes c3, so maybe we move our queen first. Move our queen to e1, both to support this potential knight move and break the pin. No, I guess if we break the pin, if we break this pin, then we have to do g takes if they capture, which I don't like very much either. Maybe we do play just bishop to d2, develop very modestly to support knight out to c3. Let's do that. Nothing too crazy, nothing too wild. I also like the idea of pushing c3, so we have queen to a4 check. Something I want to keep an eye on. So I don't like this idea as much of like knight out to c3, knight takes d5, pawn takes d5, bishop over to c5 check, and then, oh, I guess they can't do that anymore. Okay. This looks a little bit more appealing now. Maybe we do play our knight out. Yeah, let's get our knight out. Just continue developing. And two, so if we take here, or if we take here and they take back, we have rook to e1 check, which looks nasty. And then complications to follow. Okay. So they don't go for it. They take with their knight, allowing us to capture back with our bishop. And we have two of these very nice diagonals for our bishops. I might consider playing a3 and dropping our bishop back to a2. Just to get it a little bit out of the way. Then also, I mean, their knight can't come out here. Their knight could come out here right now. So maybe, yeah, a3 is looking like a better and better move. Prevent knight to b4, prevent bishop out to b4, whatever piece they want to land on that square. But I'm liking your position more and more. We've got a handful of pieces developed. They push the pawn. Oh, there's almost a checkmate here. If knight takes e5, bishop takes d1, bishop takes f7, check. But then they have king to e7 to escape. Oh. And then we have... Oh, no, that doesn't work, does it? I was going to say knight over to... If we could do somehow, like, knight to c6, that would fork their king and their queen, but it's supported by their b7 pawn, so that doesn't quite work. I don't think I can quite pull off this queen sacrifice. If we play rook to e1, then we can do it. Or I think we can almost do it. Let's play rook to e1 first. Threatening some dangerous ideas. They're not castled, and I think that's a pretty substantial weakness in their position. They play... Okay. Bishop out to d6. Let's see, how does this look now? Bishop takes queen. Bishop takes on f7, check. Supported by our knight. King can now move to either of these squares. So let's assume king moves to f8. That seems the most likely. Yeah, I don't think it works out. Or I don't see a way that I can make it work. Could do... Oh, here we go. Maybe we pin this knight to their king. We take here. They take, and we can take back with check. Yeah, that looks good. So let's pin. Castling from black, I think, would be a good move here. Yep. This still allows us to pick up this pawn. Oh, no, it doesn't, because this knight is no longer pinned. Okay. We could take the knight. Takes. I don't know if that does anything for us. I'd like to win a pawn, I think. Let's win a pawn. Sort of assert domination over the e-file. Get our rook up here. Queen out to e2. Other rook over to e1. Yeah. So we're trading a lot of pieces away, but our opponent's position has been weakened. We'll be up a pawn. And we'll have a very strong positional advantage. I think it's a positional advantage of this total domination over the e-file. Oh, that's interesting. So they don't take. Instead, they reinforce the e-file first. So if we take here... Oh, I see. That's a good maneuver. So if we take here, They could take our rook with check. We capture back with the queen. And then they can take our knight, causing us to ruin our pawn structure. Yeah, so that doesn't quite work out. Maybe we play, let's play h3 to kick this bishop out of the way. And then hopefully unpin our... Oh, does that work? No, that doesn't work either. So my thought was, if we play h3, they have bishop takes on f3, we take back on f3, but then they can freely take our bishop on e5 because they have 2 attackers and we would only have 1 defender because this knight will have vanished. We could play rook up to e4, hitting this piece, and perhaps allowing... I don't think we would have quite enough time. Play rook up to e3, takes, and then our bishop is hanging. Let's revisit taking this bishop. So if we take, they take with check, we take back, they take here. Then we have bishop to e7 hitting their queen. Does that accomplish anything? We have bishop to e7, and then we have queen to e7. I think maybe that's what we have to go for. We also have maybe bishop sacrifice on g7. King takes, but I don't think that accomplishes anything for us. So I think bishop takes is probably the move here. Expecting to see rook takes with check, queen takes on e1, and then bishop takes. Yep. Queen takes, the only legal move. They could just do queen takes d6 too. No, they don't go for it. Okay. I guess material is even now. We're still up a pawn. So we could just retreat our bishop. Does bishop to e7 get us into potentially more dangerous territory? They could reinforce their bishop with like queen to c5, and then they could pick up this pawn for free. That would be very scary. Takes doesn't accomplish anything. We could threaten their bishop like this, and then if they want to trade, we can do that. I like the idea of actually just retreating our dark squared bishop for now. Because if we retreat our dark squared bishop, and then they still play queen to d5, reinforcing this bishop, what moves do we have to protect ourselves in that scenario? We have potentially queen up to e7. That looks dangerous. But I don't think that actually threatens anything. Could move our bishop back over here, but I don't think that does anything. This forces a trade of the queens, I think. So queen up to e7. I guess they can move out of the way. Or no, I think that's bad for us because they take our bishop, we take their queen, they take our queen, and then we take here, and then we've ruined this pawn structure in front of our king. I think retreating back Oh yeah, so we still need to figure out if they play queen to d5 after we retreat. Bishop d3, queen to d5. How do we defend against this threat here? Oh, we could simply take the bishop, and then we're up a piece. I like that. Okay. So we have a defense against this. This also looks dangerous. Ugh, didn't see that. Yeah, queen to g5 I think is good. Threatening, queen takes g2, checkmate. In that case, I think then we push g3 to mitigate that threat. Okay. Okay. Yeah, we're snorkeling thoughtfully if we do need to do that. Yep. Okay. Analyze queen to g3. They can't take. This can't come through. Yeah, so let's go ahead and push this pawn. And then I think our opponent has the initiative here. So they have... it's their turn, basically, to start making maneuvers. Queen comes down. Oh, here we go. So this is a checkmating threat, certainly. How do we mitigate that? I think queen over to f1 looks good. This looks very similar to a checkmate that we had against an opponent recently. We could threaten... No, this doesn't work. We take, and then that's guarded by their... this bishop, or this rook here on a8. So I think queen to f1 is the move here. Oh, queen to f1, they have bishop to e2. I think forcing queen up to g2. So they only have a couple pieces in here to perform the attack, and our queen is a very effective defender. So I think... Is there anything else we can do other than queen to f1? I don't think so. Yeah, because, I mean, we can't move our king anywhere else. Bishop to e2, queen to g2, and then we could do that dance a couple times if we need to. Okay. So they move a pawn up, perhaps to coming down to f4 looks decent. I think here we can play h3, supported by our queen. No, they can simply drop their queen back, it seems like. We could play rook to e1 to get our rook into the game and maybe serve as a defensive piece a little bit. Rook to e1, pawn to f4, rook to e4. No, that loses the rook, doesn't it? They simply take. We don't have any good checks available to us. So h3 and rook to e1 are the moves that I'm looking at. h3 forces their queen. It gets us a tempo, but I don't know if it actually accomplishes anything. We can push again, and then they come back down to g4, which we have relinquished control over. Let's do that first. h3. We also have d4, which looks strange, but permits queen to c4 check. Perhaps buying us some time. I think then they have king to h8. So let's look at these. This, and then they also have another move to like push their pawn, which I don't like. We also have rook to e1. Maybe they push, and then we have bishop to e7 hitting their queen. So further driving their queen back to the hinterlands. That seems decent. So push, push, check. Back this way looks the best, and then I don't think we have a way to continue to harass them. Then get a rook into the game first. E1. They push. Options here: bishop to e7, hitting their queen, and I think forcing it back to g6. Or I mean, we could push here. They have a sacrifice that looks bad for us, but we could interpose our queen and then trade queens, and then we're up a bishop. I like pushing here potentially. Do we want to harass their queen first, though? Does that accomplish anything for us? I don't believe so. So we'll push. This feels like a puzzle, a good tactical position. Okay, they push. We can't push here because they simply take the pawn. Maybe we do play d4 to prepare queen to c4 check. And I mean, if they come to h7, that's a huge miss, because then we have queen h7 check, and then we take their bishop, but I don't think that's likely to happen. This is a check, but their rook takes. That doesn't look any good. Do we want to throw this in? I think we might want to throw this in. It gives us another way to push this pawn up if we want to. Ooh, that's kind of cool. So if we bishop out to e7, queen comes back one more, then we push, and then this pawn is protected by our bishop. And then we've locked them out of the position for at least another turn. So queen comes back, pawn pushes, and then how do they proceed with their attack? They probably maybe queen back to f7, and then like, yeah, so let's keep going. Pawn push. Yes. And then maybe we can play h4 to further reinforce this pawn, unless they want to play h4 for some reason. H4 also opens up. Yeah, okay, so they're going to try to reinforce, and they'll probably come back with like, oh, I guess if they take, we take back. I think, yeah, if they take, we take back, and then they have queen takes again. So I think we need to reinforce here with h4, solidifying this position, and then opening up queen to h3, hitting their light squared bishop. Also opening up, if the queen moves out of the way, yeah, queen to e6 check. Okay, queen to f5, maybe threatening queen to h3, and then queen down to, oh no, they can't, I guess they could do like, yeah, here we go. Queen to, what is this? g4 check, we move out of the way, and then they don't quite have checkmate, do they? Because our queen is protecting all of these squares. So that looks good. Okay, they don't have checkmate. We have a moment to make an attacking or a developing move, I believe. Pawn up to d4 to deliver check on c4, forcing their king over to most likely h8. And then I don't think we have anything from there, unfortunately. think we still do that. We may see queen to h4, in which case we have king to h2. We can make good our escape, I believe. h2, yeah. Queen to h4, king to h2. Probably queen takes h4, I would guess, and then we have queen, yeah. Queen to h3 to protect, and then we do a queen trade. Or not. They take... Ooh. Oh, that's painful. Let's checkmate. Queen takes here is checkmate. For sure. All right. Tough game. Let's take a look at the review. I don't have the full review thing. Let's clear out these notifications. See where it all went wrong. Scandinavian. The modern variation of the Scandinavian is still quite an advantage for white here. I do want to see where it all went wrong. We had a slight advantage out of the opening. Starting to lose it a little bit. Hard to assess exactly what it is. We have a stronger advantage here. Yep. Knight takes e5 was a very strong idea here, and I do want to see, I want to explore that a little bit. What happens with best play? Knight takes e5. It must be bishop takes d1. What happens here? Knight takes c6 check. Oh, I see. And then we win their queen. King to f8. And then knight takes d8. So we pick up 2 pieces for the price of 1. Okay, so we missed a tactic there. That would have been cool. And I feel like I've seen similar tactics before, so I don't know what it's going to take. Maybe I just need to do more puzzles. The castle. We make that trade. We pick up this pawn. This all seems fine. Yep. Queen takes e1. Bishop takes. And we're even. Move back, sort of giving up some of our advantage. Let's see. Queen to f1 was the strongest move here, just by a little bit. This is perfectly tied. I think this might just be an in-game study thing. We push them back. I think this is going to come down to one critical blunder. Still about even. H4 was good. Queen to f5. Engine is starting to show like one misstep leads to a substantial advantage for black, or a forced mate sequence, including this. So what was the right move here? King to h2 or queen to g2? What? No, queen to g2 is mate in 6. So king to h2. I think getting out of the way of this check and preventing queen to h3 check. Okay, so I should have gotten out of the way of that check, but I didn't, and that leads to mate in 4. All right, good game. Maybe needing to work on my puzzles a little bit more, and really I think just like this isn't really an end game because the queens aren't off the board, but tactical defensive positions I need to analyze a little bit more thoroughly, especially when I sense that I'm in this much danger. I had 12 minutes on the clock. I should have spent more time analyzing what happens when Queen comes down to g4. I thought they had this, but they don't. But they did have queen takes h4 check, which I didn't quite see in time. Darn. All right. I think it's enough for me today. Have a good one, everyone.